Life chances. Life chances is a concept used by social scientists to predict or evaluate the likelihood of, or express the probability of having certain experiences in one's lifetime. It's a key concept in the study of inequality and social stratification, and it's at the heart of what demography is really trying to understand. Now, to help us get a good handle on life chances, it's worth taking a slight detour into the philosophy of science. The philosophy of science is complicated and can be really abstract, and there's a lot of really interesting connections to the sociology of knowledge, but for this video we only need to look at one idea, and that is the concept of prediction. Now, to help us understand prediction, I've drawn this very beautiful, highly detailed diagram of a volcano erupting. A person could look at a volcano and see that it is erupting right now. They can have the knowledge that the volcano is erupting based on observations they make right now. That is one kind of knowledge. Scientific knowledge is also based on observations, but it has a different goal. By definition, the inherent nature of science is actually based on not our knowledge of what's happening right now, but our ability to predict when something is going to happen in the future. Now, to explain this further, let's look at the idea of the hypothesis that you should remember from your study of the scientific method. A hypothesis is a testable prediction about a relationship between variables. So if we look at the volcano again, the volcano erupting is one variable. Volcanic eruption is a variable. There are other variables that cause the volcano to erupt, and the relationship between those variables is what constitute the natural laws that govern the way volcanoes operate. Science is all about trying to understand these relationships, trying to understand the natural laws that govern the functioning of the universe. Some variables are what we call the dependent variables. They're the result or the effect of the relationship with other variables. So when one variable changes, it causes the other variables to change. In social science, we do the same thing. Not with volcanoes, but with people. So, for example, if we take a baby, one of the things that we'll do is we'll look at a variety of variables that are associated with that child. And with those variables, we can make predictions based on our knowledge of social science laws or principles. We can make predictions about the things that person is likely to experience in their life. For example, we might make predictions about the chances they will have of going to college, the probability of them being married at a certain age, or the likelihood of falling into poverty, or going to prison, or what kind of hobbies that person is likely to have, or how likely they are to participate in politics. These are some of the life chances, the life experiences a person might have throughout their lifetime, and depending on certain characteristics and conditions in which they find themselves, the probability of experiencing these things changes. Some of the most important predictors of life chances include race, gender, age. Now, that doesn't affect a baby so much, but people have different experiences at different points in their life cycle. And of course, the age of their parents can have a big influence on the child's experiences. Their religion, their location, where they live, parent income. Parent income is worth noting is the number one or the most accurate predictor of a person's life chances generally. Class, which in the U.S. is primarily based on income and money and wealth, and then prestige and status. So a big part of what social scientists try to do is understand how these variables influence the likelihood of experiencing these variables, right? Demography can be said is the study of these kinds of things and how these different variables are distributed throughout a community or a nation or a society. And these variables, of course, influence the experiences that a person has in their lifetime. So this is what life chances is all about. It's about being able to predict what is going to happen to a person based on certain conditions that they experience and the condition of their society. Now, there's one other thing that's worth noting here, one other way to look at this that should be helpful. If we draw a timeline, we can imagine a particular point at which a person is born. So we go back to our little baby. There are certain conditions at this point that child experiences that predict or allow us to predict their life chances throughout the rest of their life. But unlike the laws that govern volcanoes, the principles that influence social experiences and societies are less well understood and seem to be more fickle. So, for example, as this child grows, they may be on the course to have certain life experiences, but then something happens, some historical change, some event, some change in the conditions of their society that change their life chances, either for better or for worse. This is where social science meets other things such as policy or activism. While science itself is ultimately about understanding how things work, there are plenty of other endeavors that try to make life better for people. And one of the ways that we can make things better, or one of the tools we use to make things better, is by understanding the relationship between life chances and other social conditions. By altering the conditions, we can alter the life chances that people experience, thus hopefully making their life and society better. Thanks for watching.